Hello and welcome to the show. I am back on a car mechanic simulator. Today we are going to be rebuilding the Corvette and going to hopefully actually get it driving, as well, that was the initial plan a while ago. Turns out it didn't start, so yeah, we're going to get to work. Now I have off camera gone through and bought a fair few bits. I am hoping there might be a few extra bits and pieces that I have bought if I couldn't remember if they were repaired or not. So hopefully I'm going to be able to get through with a little bit less of jumping to the tablet to buy stuff. I don't think I've got the crankshaft bearings. I know I have a fair few bits repaired of this, so we're going to kind of wait and see. And I kind of forgot all the little bits and pieces that were going into this, but we should be. That's all of our piston done. Now I think we're okay. I think we managed to fix most of these ourselves. The crankshaft bearings. Did we fix all of the crankshaft bearings? It looks like we might have done. That's quite helpful. Probably one of the very few things that we will have fixed all of, but there we go. Right, rod caps. We have... Okay, so we're going to need to buy 6 of these. It could be worse, I guess. We could need to buy all of them. Right, that'll do in there. And let's go and get some more. Yeah, I thought we'll try to sort of buy stuff. It's quite a faff, actually, going back through and trying to figure out what you need to... But I've guesstimated a lot of stuff. Thankfully, some bits are repaired. It's got to go through your inventory, see what's broken and what's, what bits you're going to need, like which particular, is it A or B or C or something, on the various parts of the car. I don't actually know if I bought typically the engine head for this. Whoopsie. Well done me. That'll be all of the crankshaft done. I did actually get this repaired. Fine. I'll just sell the other bits. I think you can actually... I have a perk that gives me essentially money off of the... I only wanted you to do... Oh, never mind. I wanted you to do one. God damn it. Money off buying of the parts, and I think I basically can earn money from buying parts from the shop if they're 100% condition. I think I can sell them all. That might have been patched. I think it was something you could do early on, at least, with the game. You could sell stuff on. I managed to repair. I have a fair few camshafts, lying around. So we will need a engine head for a V8. Yep, that one there is a fair expensive one. I tried finding one from a junkyard that I could repair, but... To no luck, many times, many trips to the junkyard would probably be taken if you were to try and find all that. Oh, apparently I've repaired most of the... I didn't get cam gears, I suspect. Nope, we can go and grab them. I tried to be more efficient. Quite how well that's apparently worked out is slightly less so. It should, fingers crossed, work out. Camera, I want to go over that way. There we go. Cam gear can go on that side. Intake manifold, we do have one. I only bought one time belt. Didn't know we needed 2. Let's go and get one. Oopsie, one of them. Timing belt for the 8. Thankfully, there's not one for specific sides, so that'll do there. Can we stick the supercharger on already? Sure. You know what? Let's just... It's a half-finished engine, but we'll bolt the most important bit of the engine. That can go on there. I don't know, but I would imagine this might be the most powerful engine currently in the game. With there no ability to customize engines, no ability to upgrade engines at the moment, I would imagine that this could be potentially the most powerful, because the V8 is what goes in the supercar. Is it Cobra, I think, if I remember the name correctly. Yeah, the V8. This V8 is the one that goes into that vehicle. So, it is, yeah, quite possible this is the most powerful engine for the moment, which would be quite cool. It's quite nice to have the most powerful engine available. This does go in a few vehicles. I don't know if there is a supercharged variant of the Cobra. I haven't seen one appear, but again, just because I haven't seen one appear doesn't mean that there isn't one around. Okay, so we have got a crankshaft. I bought lots of the rollers because I knew we were going to need a lot for this engine. I've probably got a fair few left over. Oh, I didn't buy a water pump pulley. Silly me. That's thankfully easy enough to acquire, and that can go on there. And then yeah, all of the other rollers. Hopefully, I've guessworked my way into the right serpentine belts for this. Because as I said, it's a very a very complex one. There's a lot there's a lot of belts rolling around here. I didn't get a belt tensioner, did I? Because I'm an idiot. That one there will sit there. We will need a belt tensioner, and I hope I have the other one got. That will do. I'm trying to go for my fastest engine rebuild as of yet. Haha! I did guess correctly. Fantastic. Oh, there's another idler roller. I needed most of the most of the rollers I used. I thought I got a little bit crazy. I haven't got engine head cover. Head cover A and B is what we need for that. I didn't really know what ones, and I kind of forgot. I bought like the coil cover. That's what I bought. Yeah, I bought the coil cover rather than cover A, cover B, as opposed to B black, whatever that means. I guess that might be for like a special edition of the vehicle, possibly. Or again, it could be for performance variants that we don't have, or I don't have as of yet. It'll all go in there nicely. Then we've got to do spark plugs and coils. See. That'll go in there. Yeah, I would imagine. I'm having a think about the engine. Think about the performance parts. The engines. I know some of the Cobra could get about 1,400 horsepower, or it was certainly well over 1,000 in the previous car mechanic game. When you had all of the performance parts, this engine itself, I think, is about 500 horsepower from its standard. Or typical. That's the one thing I had repaired. But all of things like the spark plugs, for example, give 2%, maybe even 5% per. And when you have 8 of them, that's a fair amount. Then you have the coils, the performance coils that give some, and all of that does add up. So yeah, thinking about it, we could have a very powerful vehicle on our. Well, we will have a very powerful vehicle on our hands here by the time we are done. I think the throttle was something we did manage to repair. One of the few things that we did manage to repair on this engine. That's that side done, that's that side done. We can then have a fuel filter, which should be done. I decided to take the engine block out of the car to work on the stand. It's easier to work on here than it is to have to kind of lift the car up and down. It's quicker just to spin the engine stand than it is to lift the car up and down to faff about with the various bits and pieces. Can we get the release bearing in there? Yes, we can. Again, the engines are on the stand. Weird. Just the way that it goes. Right. That, I think, is the engine complete. I think we are good to go. I can't check. I wonder if I could check the condition of parts on the engine there, but apparently not. Right. Move equipment over to. Right. Okay. Yeah, I remember what we're doing. I'll move the equipment over to the car. We have to take that off there. We'll do the suspension stuff first. While the car's up in the air, we'll go and fit all of the suspension bits and pieces. Many rubber bushings have been brought once more. Curious to see whether I've managed to guess correctly on the number of rubber. I think last time I tried this, I underestimated the amount that I would. I think it was the small rubber bushings that caught me out. So we shall see if I have managed to be clever enough this time around. We do have a steering rack. Oh, bugger, I got sway bar. I got the normal sway bar. So we need a sway bar B. Probably going to need them. I think I got the normal ones. Well, as I said before, we'll get both of them, and then if I am... Oh, was that rear sway bar I bought like a moron? It was. Whoopsie. Again, don't really care because I can sell it for as much as I paid for it. So it's... yeah, when you've got a fairly sizable amount of money that I have on this game. I've got a sizable amount of money and I have many cars sat around ready to either be restored or to be sold... to be sold on when I can finally do body frame repairs. We need to go and build the front shock absorbers because they have to be built in a slightly more technical, more involving way. I'm also going to try something a little bit different with this car in regards to tyres because I've apparently got stacks of these around. I'm kind of curious about, there are different sorts of tyre, if you like. There are racing tyres, there's kind of road tyres, I think there's a specific drag tyre as well, and I'm very, very curious to see if it's going to give us any performance difference. If we have like drag tyres on the car, will that make it better accelerating, terrible through the corners? Maybe we will even get a car to do a wheelie. I think it unlikely. It was C, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it's quite unlikely that we're going to see this vehicle do a wheelie, but it would be cool, and we're going to give it a try. You've got to give these things a try. You've got to try. You've got to find out if it is possible. It's the most important thing. And yeah, kind of compare lap times, because we actually can now compare lap times. It's not just all about straight line speed performance anymore, because we have a proper circuit to visit. Upper suspension arm. I think we might have just perfectly guesstimated the number of rubber bushings that we needed, because I don't think we have any in the rear, because the back is all leaf springs rather than anything else. So I think I might have done it perfectly. Okay, let's go and build our shocks with the spring puller join parts. We want double wishbone shock absorber, front spring, front shock absorber cap. That's the one. We don't want to touch the rear shock. We don't want to do anything with the rear shock absorbers because they go in as they are on the vehicle. Thank you for that. Take parts, join parts, front. There we go. That would all do in there. I should probably start separating the wheels up. Yeah, we might as well leave that. Get something done while we're messing around over here. Whoopsie. Okay, back to the part mounting. We had to go and buy a new one of these because I managed to screw that up as well. Did I guess correctly? Yes, I did with that. Thank God. Stick in the rear shock absorbers. Yeah, lovely, simple rear of the car to work on. I don't have any rear drive axles. Solid. That should give us the stuff that we need. Forgot about them ones. Mind. I also can never remember if I've repaired them up. That will do in there. I haven't got any brake parts as of yet. That's all stuff that's going to need to be brought. But I might as well buy it all in one go. And we can have the leaf springs installed. Also, thank you everybody for letting me know. Apparently, this is what Corvettes ran in this sort of era. Corvette actually did go with leaf springs. I had absolutely no idea on that one. I kind of just assumed that those being a sports car, a relatively high performance sports car for the time, would have had a little bit more sophisticated suspension than leaf springs. But there we go. That's what they did. Because it did the job. Relatively cheap, I would imagine, to make in comparison as well. So hence why the car could be kept at a vaguely affordable price in comparison to rivals, if you like. That's most of the back done. We will. Do we have to drop the car down to do the? I think we'll probably put the fuel tank in from here, but we probably can't put the fuel pump in without having the car down. Oh no, we can put the fuel pump in there. Don't forget these. It wouldn't let me go and drive the car anyway. I'm fairly sure it won't let you go drive the car if any bit, aside from apparently interior and steering wheel. You can get rid of those and it's fine. But if you have any like mechanical bits, you can't drive the car. Kind of a shame you can't have like completely horrendously broken car. It would be kind of amusing if the customer cars were gradually worse and worse to drive depending on conditions of parts. You could try and drive vehicles with sort of incomplete suspension. Alas, that is not the case. Right, let's grab the engine. Take the engine from there. We want to install engine into the car. There we go. The Corvette has... Ooh, I'm a little bit frozen. There we go. I'm a little bit frozen in place. The Corvette's got its engine. Now we've got to go and lift the car up again to... actually, while we're here, let's go through the other bits and pieces that we have got in here. Some of these I've managed to actually do a decent job of repairing. So we've got a few of those. Don't know if we have the ABS pump. Ooh, we do. Do we have the module as well? Well, we do, but it's knackered. So we will get the module. Ouch. I keep forgetting how horrendously expensive those are. Always something that you want to be able to repair if you can. But yeah, my luck, not so great. Servo, we do not have. Oops. That's not what we want. Can we not just... There we go. Not undo everything. And back out of all of that. Servo will go over there. Don't have to worry about doing any sort of installing. Ooh, we need to do the suspension. We don't have a battery either, do we? Battery, we'll grab one of those. While we're here, let's get the... let's get the brake parts that we need. So we need 2 vented discs. We will need 2 normal. We will need 4 pads all around. Now, I think I have a couple of calipers repaired and a couple of the caliper cylinders repaired. So I'm going to guess that is what we're going to need. to finish off all of the braking stuff. Battery can go in there. Perfect. Right, let's put you back up into the sky. Don't know if we have a drive shaft, actually, come to think of it. Not sure on that one. Could be quite an important part. Could be quite an important part indeed. I also haven't got exhaust bits ready as of yet, but yeah, that's a simple enough thing to find. I wasn't sure which versions, which exact A, B, C, etc. parts were required for this vehicle. Okay, so it's exhaust pipe A. I did get the catalytic converters. We'll come back to exhaust. We'll finish off with that. Fairly straightforward. And we have got some lovely conditioned shock absorbers, some nice shiny new brakes. I'm liking it. I think I got these in here as well, so we can finish off. Okay, that's another really easy bit to completely forget about. I got one extra, one of the brake cylinder calipers. That's fine. Really, really easy, stupid bit that you can be trying to find, and yeah, unable to complete a car. The wheel hub bearings, or if there's like wrong with the vehicle and you can't figure out what it is. Yeah, the wheel hub bearings are a tricksy little bugger that is very, very easy to have missed. I know from much experience of that that particular one. Let's get the backs. Brakes complete, and then we can start messing around with wheels and I say wheels and tyres. We're going to be mostly messing around with tyres. I might as well hopefully be able to repair the wheels that came with this car. It'd be kind of helpful if we could. If not, I'll probably just buy equivalent ones just so we have everything at a similar level and as cheaply as possible. Whoopsie, there we go. So that is, I think, everything ready except for exhaust. So we can stick these in because I know I have these ready. Did I buy these? Nope, I didn't. I think I might have got maybe. I might have got the rear, the V8 rear muffler done. Potentially, yes, I did buy those because I kind of vaguely knew some of the bits. So we need exhaust pipe, we need middle muffler, and we need front exhaust A. Front exhaust pipe A. Ooh, do we need front exhaust pipe B? Does it have a... Nope, there's just two front exhaust pipes. I can deal with that. Okay, so front exhaust pipe A for front exhaust pipe V8A. That's the one that we want. We want two of them. We want also just exhaust pipe. Where was that exhaust pipe? Two of those, and then we want mid. Two of those. Our Corvette is almost ready to go. I don't think we have anything left to have to tighten on our vehicle either. It's just drop all of these. This is how exhaust systems go together, everyone. It's literally you just kind of connect. You just place them next to one another. Works perfectly. Nothing could go wrong with any of that at all. True story. Let's go and then take apart all of these. Shall we play the game of will I have the luck at repairing... Oh, that wheel, yes. Can I go four wheel? That's a silly... it's a silly thing to suggest, but can we go four wheels without breaking any of them? And we have gone two so far. So far, we are 2 for 2. Let's take that one, separate that one. That race tire's actually not in too bad a condition. Right, here we go. And, oh, come on. Hey, 3 for 3. Come on, repairing luck. Come on, repairing luck. This is the one. Is it going to be? Yes! All of them were repaired. Woohoo! I would jump, but there's no... you probably can't hear me mashing spacebar. There's no jump key as far as I am aware. Right. Somewhere there is wheels. I was going to have a look at tyres to see what they were. 285s, 40 R18. Now, what we're going to do is... we're going to go into there. So we have got R18s. They are the wheels. 18-inch wheels are what we are on. Ooh, okay. So there isn't drag... Well, there isn't drag tyres. There is slick tyres, though. So we will go for some of those. I think it came on race tyre... One of those two. Race tyre A or B. So if we go for... Okay, we'll go for a slick tyre. We have a slick tyre B. So it is 18. I think they were profile 40. And we will go with as wider tyres. Yes, we will get 325s. Oh, that's a lot of money on tyres. That's a lot of money on tyres. But these can be our good set of tyres. I imagine that we can stick these on just about any car. It could be quite fun. Because as far as I'm aware, all the wheels will fit on all the different cars. So let's go and buy... that's a lot of expensive tyres. So if we can then go install that one... Yes, we can install the slick tyre. This is going to be a, hopefully... very, very beefy car. It should be pretty bloody quick by the time we are done with it. Install that and that. Yep, let's get balancing. Let's get the old, as many different things on the go as we possibly can. We do have a couple more things, of course, to take care with on the vehicle. For example, oil. Oil would be an important one. Bodywork as well. We do have a fair few bits of bodywork. Actually, a lot of the bodywork was in pretty good condition. Always nice to see. That one there needs balancing. Yes. So, oh, no, not separate. Install that. Yes, go for it. Right, let's get working on putting some wheels on the car. How many different things can I get going at once? There we go, that's the wheel. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm fairly pleased with that one. Not the really silly things that I have done to cars previous. That one there can get balancing. Oh, got a little bit frozen once more. Then over this side, we will install that one. I'm curious as to how much this car is going to end up being worth. I'm hoping... a decent bloody amount. Let's just have a look while we're here. Oh, yes, it is. 66,000, almost $67,000 for that car. That is a nice amount of money. I have spent a fair bit. In fact, I've spent a lot. The tyres are excessive. I didn't need to spend this amount on tyres at all. This is more for my benefit than anything else. So that's going to turn a nice profit if we come to... I'm liking my cars too much that I'm not wanting to sell any of them, which is always dangerous. Right, let's get some more parts mounted on there. There we go. That will be the wheels done. Now, what I'm going to do... assembly. Let's just stick on... Oh, let's do interior. Normal mode. Interior... Oh, interior assemble. Because, I mean, the seats that it came with are pretty good condition. For now, this stuff here is going to do. Actually, there's a little bit crappy. But for now, this stuff is going to do because I'm not exactly planning on selling this car right this second. It will probably be sold at some point. Do we have a front left fender? We don't have a fender. Yeah, it will be sold at some point, but as I can't repair the body frame, I'm never going to get 100% anyway. So what I'm going to do is stick as many of the body bits on that I do have. Don't have either of the fenders. We do have a rear bumper, I'm fairly sure. Yeah, that's in fairly good nick. Let's get the tail lights on there as well. There is a window for that. We've got a door window as well. And we have that side door window. So the only thing we're missing are the fenders. Do we have a front window? Oh, look at that, 99% on that. It's the bonnet and both of the fenders. Yeah, we know what, we'll go buy those. It was a back out there. We want body shop, and we want, it's a Reptilia R2, is it not? Yes, it is. We want hood, yes, and front left and front right. Now, unfortunately, these will be miscoloured because there is nothing I can do about that. Thankfully, because of the way that we have this car with the bits that we got from the barn find, essentially, it doesn't actually look too terrible with the... Can I not close the bonnet? There we go. It doesn't actually look too terrible with the colour scheme. I kind of quite like it. Right, so with its kind of fairly complete, $76,000 of my $1,000 for my work. Not too bad. Oil. Whoopsie daisy. That's not what we want to be doing. Let's go and top up the oil before we go and send the car out. Then we can go and see what lap time it does on the race tyres before swapping it over to some road tyres, seeing if there is any difference. I have absolutely no idea, but I am rather curious to find out. Also, wouldn't read too much into the lap times comparing between this and the RX-7. They have changed the handling model since last time I saw in the patch notes. So I think the cars are going to have different levels of grip. I'm not actually sure how much, but it's going to be potentially different. So to the racetrack we go. It would be to the racetrack we go if I had remembered to put in the other side shock absorber. Never mind. Never mind. You saw nothing. So, here we are at the circuit with a more complete car than the last one of ours that we took here. Oh, sounds very noisy. Forgot how loud this bloody game was. There we go, into the cockpit view. I am hoping that we are going to... Whoa! We're going to have a serious amount of speed in this car. I'm curious to see if we can get 200 miles an hour down the start-finish straight. There we go. Now there, the handling is always going to be an interesting one. With this, there is very little rear-end grip, despite these big, slick tyres. Oh, that's a grass. Yeah, you don't want to have one wheel on the grass as you are going to put the power down there in a car as powerful as this one. Easy does it through these corners. Whoa, as I say that, jeez, it's a pretty brutal car. It's kind of as brutal as you would expect. Oh, no. God, this handling model. I can't decide whether I'm better off trying to drive it from third person, and I can kind of predict a little bit better when the game is doing weird things with it, or whether I'm better off driving from first person. And, yeah, my preferred driving, and you might not fight the car so much if you can't see what it's doing. Ooh, we've gone and spun the vehicle. I've really itchy nose as well. It's not helping matters. Okay, let's see how fast we can go in a straight line. I'm hoping for... I say I'm hoping for 200. It'd be nice to get to 200 miles an hour. It's about 300 plus kilometers an hour. I'm not sure we've got a long enough straight here to do it. It's 280 kilometers, and we're going to do all sorts of weird things. That's many, many rotations. Okay, the brakes aren't great on this. We will need to... I say the brakes aren't great. We're going very fast into turn 1. We will need to be a lot earlier on the brakes. We've got to be very, very careful with... It's like the traction is there for most of the time, and then every so often it just decides, nope, you will have no traction. Nope. We're going to have a little bit of a switch our way across there. Yeah, this is... it's not exactly easy to drive, even with these big, slick tyres. It is not easy to drive. I'm kind of hoping that when we put it on... when we put it on sort of cheap road tyres, that it's going to be a complete and utter mess. I suspect that the game's not necessarily going to differentiate between tyres. I could be very wrong, though. So we will hold fire until the next time around. We're going to try... This is another not very good lap. We will try next lap around, which is the one we're going for. Okay? Reptilia, if we could not have any big accidents, we're going for a good lap time. I'm going to jump on the brakes here, because I know we need a lot of time to try and get stopped, because the game likes to do weird things with my car all on its own. What's the fastest lap time we had around here? Was it 1:07 from the BMW thing? I think it was 1:07 from that. That was a supercharged V8 in that as well. Probably wasn't a greatly driven lap by me, because, well, none of them are really with this very wonky handling system. We're going to kind of throw the car into that corner. Nicely does it on the exit there, up towards the chicane. You can kind of straight line if you get everything right. I'm trying to do as little steering when I'm braking as possible. That really confuses the physics. Sometimes it just steers on its own, though, which is not helpful. Okay, out of that final corner we go. Oh, no, bad things. Oh, we caught it. We're not going to catch it here. I'm trying to hold it flat out. We're just going to spin the wheels all the way down to the finish line. It's going to be a 1:03. I'm not even touching the keyboard as it was spinning around there. Okay, so we'll go for a 1:03 is the time for the car on cheapo road tyres to beat. So, we've got the Reptilia back with some street tyres. These 265s all around. These are kind of just the normal tyres. So I'm curious to see whether it's going to make a blind bit of difference to our car. I've also noticed just how low the exhaust mufflers. It kind of looks like the exhaust system in this car is falling out at the bottom. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not the healthiest of looks, but there we go. At the moment, as far as drivability-wise goes, it's still the same twitchy bugger. It doesn't really feel any worse than it was. I kind of expected as much. It's a little bit of a shame that we don't have, well, any difference really being made. Try and slow that down in time. Or, if anything, it's, I think, slightly easier to drive with these tyres. But it is possible that with less grip overall, the balance is a little bit better in this. Perhaps. We're okay, yeah, we're fine around all of that. Twitchy going on to the start line. No, we have to just lift and coast until it's pointing roughly the right direction. We're going to get up to silly speeds, relatively silly speeds. Once more, silly speeds for this game anyway. Oh, and big issues getting it slowed down. So these are the funny noises that, the engine is, I think it's supposed to be supercharger wide. It just sounds like it's got a leak. It sounds like there is air leaking somewhere out of the car. Oh, come on, get turned into that particular corner. Yeah, it's doesn't feel a huge amount of difference, I'll be honest. We'll see what the lap times say when I can get a clean lap. Thankfully, you can't damage your car from crashes on the test track. Otherwise, well, I mean, the RX-7 would be a write-off. We've front-flipped and twist-flipped that one many times on its maiden drive around here, and this Corvette's found a couple of walls quite heavily. Sliding around that final corner, although we have got a fairly good run onto the start-finish straight because minimal steering input has been needed to launch the car down towards the start-finish line. Yeah, I mean, lap time-wise, I think we're going to be looking at a very similar sort of time here. Oh, big switch. I don't even know what to call it, what this car does. It does its own things around there. And if there is difference, I mean, I'll just jump that corner completely. If there is difference, I'm not sure the handling model is up to really telling me that. I don't feel like there is really much in the way of difference. I think perhaps the feeling a bit easier to drive is more down to the fact that I've driven 3 laps with it already, so have a little bit more expectation of what to do with the car. Oh, god damn. I didn't touch the steering there. And it's just, no, it's not having any of it. Yeah, as far as performance-wise goes for the tyres, I do not think there is a blind bit of difference between the massive race tyres. Other than, like, appearance, of course. You know, if you want to have a car to look like it has got the awesome wide race tyres, drag tyres, etc., then, of course, absolutely you go for those giant ones. But performance-wise on the track, it seems that there is very, very little. The handling is not really good enough to deal with this level of power. The front-wheel drive hot hatches are the way to go. Yeah, not even hot hatches, or the front-wheel drive cars in general are the ones you'll have most fun with around here, not these hugely powerful, I say hugely powerful, only 500 odd horsepower, which is nothing compared to some of the hugely powerful monsters you will get on the likes of, well, the things that I've driven on Forza and so on. Can we do burnouts? Not really. It doesn't really stop it. Nope, but we do burnouts if we're up against the wall with this. Maybe. Oh, come on. Slow. There's a really easy way to do slowly. Oh, of course we're on dirt there, so we're not going to get any. I was going to see how much smoke the game would throw up if we're doing a burnout. Here's a good place to do it. Can we completely obscure the car with smoke? Yeah, we kind of can actually. It's not bad on the old smoke particle effects. I will give it that. I will give it that. It does a pretty decent job. Yeah, credit where it is due. I mean, it just still run out a little bit, but anyway, yeah, tyres unfortunately doesn't make a huge amount of difference. The Corvette, though, is pretty much completed. We will put it in storage for now until we can repair the body frame and so on, and then we'll inevitably sell it on to make some decent profit on the car. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.